grandson of Right Thought. Welcome back to the School of Marvelous Light, Little Flock. Little Flocky, I'm going to help you understand how not to take things personal, if you're willing to listen. And I'm going to also help you understand why Yahusha said to pray for your enemies, to love your enemies, and to pray for those who despitefully use you. You see that? Because let's be honest and let's be real. People are okay with religion. They're okay with spiritual matters or what they consider to be, like I say, religious topics, church, things like that. They're okay with it until they get down to brass tacks. If you understand what I'm saying. What I mean is, people are okay with Yahushua until they hear what he is telling them to do. And he was well aware that some of the things that he has called you to do will cause you to feel offended. Hope you hear that good, little flock. Remember when Yahushua said, "This day you shall all be offended in me." I've talked about this before, but we can rehash it a bit because it's pertinent to what we're talking about. Why did Yahushua say, "This day you shall all be offended in me"? Why did he say that? What was it about what he was doing that would be considered offensive to his followers? Okay, think about it like this. What do you consider to be offensive about love your enemies? And if you don't want to say you, what do you think why do you think a person would find it offensive to be told to love their enemies? It's very easy. If you look in your own heart, you'll see it. Why would it be offensive to be told, pray for those who despitefully use you? If somebody smacks you on one cheek, turn the other. If someone asks you for your coat, give them your cloak also. Someone says, go a mile with me, go 2 miles. Why would those things be offensive to a person? Because it causes that person to be selfless. That's why it's offensive. The day they came and took Yahushua was the day he said, "You'd be offended in me." And they were all offended because he's not going to fight back. Isn't that offensive to the carnal mind? What do parents teach their children? Somebody hits you, you hit him back. It's not what Yahushua said. But yet you take that child to church and sit there and say you're serving Yahushua in front of that child. But you're telling that child to do something Yahushua wouldn't tell you to tell that child. Aren't you? Y'all see that today, little flock? That's why he said they honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. They're offended. The only way your heart would be far from somebody while your lips honored them is what? Because you're offended about something. Or else your heart would be close to him. So a lot of people that profess to say, I serve Christ and I follow after Yahushua, or as they say, Jesus, they say that, but their heart doesn't show that they do. Because when they're called to turn the other cheek, they don't. See that there, little flock? When they're called to forgive, they don't. When they're called to pray for those who despitefully use them, they don't pray for them. When they're called to go the extra mile, that's where it came from. He said if you go 1 mile, go 2. They ask you to go 1, go 2. Well, 2 means an extra. Well, that's offensive, especially if you don't feel like you're going to get anything out of going the extra mile. People always thinking of what they can get for themselves. Where if you're thinking about what you can get for yourselves, then you're not selfless. Hear that today, little flock? So when you are truly selfless, then you learn not to be offended when someone despitefully uses you. See? When someone hits you on one cheek, you turn to them the other because you're not offended. And I'm going to tell you why. Remember, that's how we started this video. Why is this thing existing, grandson? This strange thing of forgive your enemies, and even though they do you wrong, don't do wrong back to them. Why? Because the truth is that a person only treats you how they feel. So if a person is feeling bad, then they will treat you bad. And you see it all around you in your life. You take a family, the father goes to work, he may have a bad day at work, and when he comes home frustrated, the whole family can feel it. Now, the whole family had nothing to do with him being mad. This is what I want you to hear, little flock. You have nothing to do with him being mad, but you're going to suffer because he is. Aren't you? You're going to suffer because he's had a bad day and he feels bad. And the reason he feels bad is because he's thinking bad. Simple as that. So then whatever he does to you is a result of what he thinks of himself inside of himself. Therefore, it's only right that you pray for him. But when you think what he's doing to you has something to do with you, then you won't pray for him, will you? You can't pray for him. Why? Because you're too busy thinking of you. Hear me, little flock? You're too busy thinking of how you feel. You're too busy thinking of what you would do. You're too busy thinking of what you should say back. You're too busy thinking of what's my comeback going to be? How am I going to get this person back for what they've done to me? That's all you're thinking about. Well, if that's all you're thinking about, you can't pray for your neighbor. You can't forgive him. You haven't forgiven him. See? But can you pray for him if your mind is clear because you've already forgiven? You understand that his anger toward you is his anger toward himself. So then, if somebody shows you anger, it's coming out of their own heart, then what should you do? Pray for them. He's not mad at me. He's mad at I am. So Father, forgive him for his ignorance. He doesn't know. So show it to him, Father, so that he can see the error of his ways and see clear enough to get the beam out of his eye. You see that there? Now, we did this last time. We're going to stop and smell the blossoms this time too, y'all. Because they smell so good and they're just so pretty. Got to take a moment every now and again to stop and smell the flowers, as they say. But do you see that today, little flock? Do you see how it's actually not about you? Because if it were, then how come they change how they treat you based off of how they feel? Come on, little flock, and hear this today. Hear it today. If you are of the truth, then you know you've experienced this. And how do I know you have? Because the master said that you would. And he told you how to deal with it when it happens. So that's how I know it will happen to you, or it has happened to you. You see that today, little flock? It has or it will. Here go them black dogs again, y'all. You know they always out here when I'm walking around. Look at that. Look at them dogs. So y'all see that today, little flock? Y'all see that today? They're mad about something that has nothing to do with you, but they take it out on you. You see? So therefore, if it has nothing to do with me, then I should not take it personal. And I should not keep a record that they did it. I'll just forgive them. Because they know not what they're doing. They don't know they're hating themselves. Because watch this. If Abba sent Yahushua to save you, and yet when he comes to save you, you reject him and deny him and think he's not the Savior, then that has nothing to do with who he is. It doesn't make him less of what he is. It doesn't make him less of a Savior because you rejected him. He still is what he is. But he's sad for you for denying the grace that God has afforded you. So he prays for you and says, Father, forgive them. They don't know. They're ignorant of the fact of what they're actually doing. And so y'all think stoning and killing means a physical thing, and it could. But it means that when you get stoned, it's when people deny what you're saying is true. You see that? When they kill you, it means that they're denying and they're shutting off what you're saying. That's killing you. Telling a lie of you is killing you. And that's what they do. So since they're lying, there's no need in you taking it personal. See that? Because like I said, if a person feels good today, watch this. Person got all the money they were looking for. They got all the goods they were looking for, and everything that they wanted to happen ended up happening, right? Now you go and you see that person. How are they going to treat you? They're going to smile and laugh and tell you about how good their day is going and how good they feel and every damn thing. But let nothing go right that day. And they don't get anything that they thought they were going to get. And then let's see how they act when you come around. They're in a bad mood. They're down. And you may notice that. And you may approach and say, hey, brother, what you down about? Man, I don't want to talk about it, man. Shit. I don't want to talk about it. They grumped up off rip. As soon as you see them, they're already grumped. You see that? They're already going to be despiteful. It's the way it is. They're already in that mode. And you notice it, but you try to show them some care, and they may respond and rend you, tear you, yell at you, get mad. Haven't you seen that happen before? I said I'm all right, man. Leave me alone, man. Give me a while. I'll talk when I'm ready to talk. Okay. See how he's treating you bad because he feels fucked up? And that's why you can't take it personal. And the best thing you can do is humbly leave the circumstance. Okay, I don't mean any harm. I only want it to help. And if I'm not, then I'll stop. But if I can be a help, then let me know and walk off and pray for them while you're gone. But if you're sitting there and they go, I don't want to talk about it. Damn it. Get out of my face. Damn. You're always fucking bugging me. And then you take all that personal. Hey, man, what are you doing? I wasn't trying to be. I was only trying to help you, man. Damn. And then y'all get in a big ass damn argument, don't you? Because that's not what Yahushua told you to do. See?